Have you ever tried to save money, only to feel like life has this personal vendetta against you? Like every time you stash a little away, bam, your car breaks down, a bill you forgot about pops up, or some emergency just wipes you out? It's like the universe is sitting there going, "Oh, you thought you could save? That's cute." If this sounds like you, stick around, because today I'm talking about why saving money feels impossible when life keeps throwing punches, and more importantly, what you can do about it. This is not going to be one of those boring finance lectures. Nope. I'm sharing 10 ways to save money even when life keeps throwing punches. This isn't a list of cliches like cut out your coffee. These are practical, real-life strategies that anyone can use. So grab a seat and let's dive in. Welcome to Flourish in Wealth, where financial freedom begins. Point 1. Life happens, so plan for it. Picture this. You finally started getting the hang of saving. You've been working hard to put aside a little money, and hey, you've got $200 tucked away. You're feeling good about it, right? Finally some breathing room, then, out of nowhere, boom, your car decides it doesn't want to start. You try to turn the key, and it just won't budge. Now you're hit with that sinking feeling in your stomach as you look at the repair estimate. $500, your savings, gone. Just like that. It's frustrating, right? I've been there, and I know you have too. You finally feel like you're getting ahead and life just pulls the rug out from under you. But here's the thing, life's unexpected expenses aren't really unexpected. Sure, they always come out of nowhere and always seem to happen when things are going well, but they're actually a pretty normal part of life. Cars will break down, appliances will quit, kids will need last-minute school stuff. People will get sick, bills will come at the worst times. And guess what? That's just part of the deal. So instead of being blindsided every time something goes wrong, it's time to plan for it. Start small, but start somewhere. Think about setting aside just a few bucks here and there for a little oh no fund. I know it might seem like you don't have enough to save, but even putting aside $5 or $10 a week can add up over time. And it doesn't need to be some big fancy account that you're building up. It can be a simple savings account or even a jar at home. The key is consistency. If you can save just a little each week, it'll be there when life inevitably throws something your way. Think of it like this. Having this fund is like keeping an umbrella in your bag during the rainy season. You can't stop the rain, but when it does come down, at least you won't be left drenched and scrambling. When life throws you a curveball, whether it's a car breakdown, a medical bill, or some other surprise, you'll be able to handle it without wiping out all your savings, and that's a win. Alright guys, before we dive into the next point, I want to hear from you. Drop the word START in the comment section below if you're ready to start saving from today. Let's hold each other accountable and make this the moment you take action. And if you're finding value in this video, don't forget to hit that like button. It helps the algorithm, and it really supports the channel so I can keep bringing you more content like this. Let's get back to it. Point 2. When everything happens at once. Ever notice how bad things don't spread out? It's like they schedule a group meeting and show up all at once. First, your phone screen cracks, then your fridge dies, and then bam, you get hit with a medical bill you didn't see coming. It's like all of life's little disasters decided to show up at the same time. You didn't ask for this chaos, but there it is, happening all at once. It feels overwhelming, right? Like no matter how hard you try to stay on top of things, life keeps throwing curveballs. It's easy to spiral into panic mode and think, I can't afford all of this, what now? And in that panic, it's tempting to start swiping your card, charging things to your credit line, or taking out payday loans just to get through the next few days. Trust me, I've been there. But that's when the stress really starts to pile up. Here's the thing. When it feels like everything is urgent, that's when you need to slow down the most. Take a breath. This isn't a race, and panicking won't solve anything. The key to getting through these tough moments is to prioritize. You need to ask yourself, what absolutely has to be paid for right now and what can wait? It's about taking control, even when it feels like things are spiraling. Let's break it down. Maybe your fridge died and you need food. That's a top priority. But what if your phone screen cracked? Sure, it's annoying, but it doesn't stop you from working or going about your day. That's something that can wait. The world won't end if you can't pay it all at once, but it will feel more manageable if you focus on paying for the most pressing things first. This approach doesn't just help you stay afloat in the moment, it helps you feel more in control of your finances. Point 3. The treat yourself trap. You've had a tough week, right? Bills are piling up, your job is stressing you out, or you're just worn out from taking care of everything and everyone. So you think to yourself, you know what? I deserve to treat myself. It sounds innocent enough. Maybe it's a pizza from your favorite place, a new pair of shoes you've had your eye on, or a little splurge at Target because you need that cute candle or those new throw pillows. It's tempting. And hey, I get it. Sometimes you just need something to make you feel good, right? But here's the thing. If treating yourself becomes a regular habit, it stops being a treat and starts being an impulse you act on every time you feel stressed, frustrated, or just plain tired, and that's where the problem lies. You've probably done it, bought that cute dress, or grabbed that extra dessert because, let's face it, you're just trying to feel better in the moment. But guess what happens after that little shopping spree or splurge? The initial excitement fades, and then what are you left with? Regret. You check your bank account and suddenly, that $40 fast food binge doesn't seem so satisfying anymore. That temporary high you felt from buying something new or eating something indulgent is replaced by a sinking feeling when you realize you could have used that money for something more important, or better yet, saved it. Point 4. Social pressure to keep up. This is something we all struggle with, how hard it is to save when everyone around you seems to be living their best lives. You're scrolling through Instagram or Facebook and what do you see? Someone just bought a brand new car, someone else is on a beach in Bali sipping a cocktail, and here you are sitting at home eating ramen noodles and trying to figure out how to stretch your paycheck until next week. It's tough, right? You start thinking, am I the only one not getting ahead? But here's the truth. Most of what you see online is people's highlight reels. That's right. The perfectly filtered moments they choose to show you. What you don't see are the behind-the-scenes struggles. The credit card debt they're juggling, the late-night stress they're dealing with, or the sacrifices they've had to make to afford that new car or dream vacation. Social media is a curated version of life, and unfortunately it's easy to get caught up in comparing your reality to someone else's filtered fantasy. I get it. It's tough not to feel like you're falling behind when it seems like everyone around you is doing so well. But here's the thing, your financial journey isn't a competition. It's not about keeping up with the Joneses or showing off your latest purchase. It's about focusing on your own goals, your own needs, and your own progress. If you're spending your time trying to measure up to other people, you're just taking your eyes off what you need to do to get ahead. Take a second to think about it. Do you really want to be stuck in debt just to impress people you don't even know or care about? Probably not. And do you want to sacrifice your future financial stability just so you can flex on Instagram? Again, probably not. The key here is to stay in your lane, focus on your financial journey, not anyone else's. It's so much easier to stick to a budget and save money when you're not constantly distracted by other people's success stories. Your financial path is unique to you. It's not about what you think you're supposed to have right now, but about what you actually need to build the future you want. Stay grounded, and remember, progress is progress, no matter how small it seems. You don't need to keep up with anyone else because at the end of the day, you're not competing with anyone but yourself. Point 5. Why bother mentality. Saving feels pointless when you're barely scraping by. You're just trying to make it through the week, and every time you think about putting money aside, life hits you with another unexpected expense. The bills pile up, the kids need new shoes, and before you know it, your bank account is empty again. So, what's the point, right? Why bother trying to save when it feels like you're not even getting ahead? Here's the thing. This mindset is super common, and it's totally understandable. When you're stuck in a cycle of struggling just to pay bills and get by, the idea of saving can feel like a luxury you can't afford. But here's the tough truth. That why bother mentality is exactly what keeps you stuck in the same place. If you don't start building even the smallest savings habit, it'll be much harder to get out of that financial rut. Let's break it down. Saving doesn't always have to be about putting away huge chunks of money. It can be as simple as stashing away $5 or $10 a week. I know it sounds small, but small steps add up over time. Think of it like planting a tree. At first it seems insignificant, but after a while it grows strong, and you've got something to lean on when life throws you a curveball. I get it. It's frustrating to feel like you're working hard and you still can't seem to make progress. But even when you're just saving a tiny bit, you're setting yourself up for future opportunities. You might not notice it right away, but that little cushion can give you peace of mind when things do go wrong, and eventually, it could help you get ahead. If you're stuck in a place where it feels like you're always running on empty, start with small steps. Even if it's just a few bucks here and there, it's a start. The key is consistency. If you keep it up over time, that little savings habit can snowball into something bigger. Because when life hits and you've got that small emergency fund or savings cushion to fall back on, you'll thank yourself for sticking with it. Point 6. The emergency or excuse dilemma. Sometimes we trick ourselves into thinking something's an emergency when it's really just an excuse to splurge. Take this scenario. You're scrolling through a store's website and suddenly, you see that your favorite shoes are on sale. Your mind starts racing and before you know it, you're telling yourself, it's basically an emergency, I need these now. But let's be real here. Emergencies are things like medical bills, car repairs, or the electricity bill that's due. It's not about buying the latest gadget just because it's discounted. We've all done it, justifying a purchase by calling it an emergency when it's really not. It's like your brain is playing tricks on you. This is where you need to train yourself to pause and think critically before you spend. Ask yourself, is this really an emergency, or am I just making an excuse to avoid saying no? It might feel urgent at the moment, but if the purchase won't have a lasting impact on your life, then it's probably not an emergency. Instead, it's just your emotions or impulse talking. By recognizing this pattern, you can start to make smarter financial decisions. It's about understanding the difference between a genuine need and a fleeting want. When you can do that, you're one step closer to financial stability and peace of mind. Point 7. Underestimating small savings. How many times have you said to yourself, it's just $5, it won't make a difference? I know I've said it a few times myself. It's easy to brush off small amounts of money, thinking that it's not worth the effort to save. But here's the truth. Those small savings add up over time in ways you might not expect. If you save just $5 every week, that's $260 by the end of the year. That's a decent chunk of money, and when you think about it, that could cover something important like a car repair, or even half a month's rent. It might not seem like much in the moment, but it's those small, consistent contributions that build up into something significant. The thing about small savings is that they don't feel like much at first. You're not going to get rich by saving a few dollars here and there, but those little wins matter. Think of them like stepping stones across a river. One step doesn't get you very far, but each one moves you closer to the other side. And just like those stones, small savings are what help you get to your financial goals. Each time you put aside a few bucks, you're building a habit that will eventually make a big difference in your life. Over time, you'll see the results even if they're not immediately obvious. So don't dismiss the small stuff. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking, what difference will a few dollars make? But when you start adding them up, you realize they can make a bigger impact than you thought. And the best part? Once you've established the habit of saving those small amounts, it becomes easier to save more over time. Don't underestimate the power of small savings. They're the foundation you need to build long-term financial stability, and they might just be the thing that helps you weather an unexpected expense or start saving for something bigger down the road. Point 8. Saving without a plan. Saving without a plan is like going on a road trip with no GPS. You might be putting money aside, but without a clear direction, you'll just end up driving in circles, not getting anywhere. If you don't have a specific goal or purpose for your savings, it's easy to feel like you're making progress, but it often leads to frustration. You might think, I'm saving, so I'm doing good. But without knowing exactly why or for what, it's hard to stay motivated. And let's be honest, saving can feel like a sacrifice, so you need to have a strong plan to keep your momentum going. Imagine you're saving for a vacation. Every time you put money aside, you can picture yourself on a beach, relaxing in the sun. That mental image keeps you focused and makes the act of saving more rewarding. On the other hand, if you're just saving for the sake of it, it's easy to dip into those funds for non-essential purchases because there's no real consequence in your mind. Having a plan also helps you track your progress. When you see your savings growing and getting closer to your goal, it gives you a sense of accomplishment and encourages you to keep going. It's about creating a roadmap for your financial journey. Without it, you're likely to lose your way and end up spending money on things that don't really matter to you in the long run. So, take the time to set clear, achievable goals for your savings. Whether it's an emergency fund, a new gadget, or a dream vacation, knowing what you're working towards makes all the difference. It turns saving from a chore into a purposeful activity that brings you closer to your dreams. Point 9. The all-or-nothing mindset. Sometimes we get caught up in the idea that if we can't save a large amount, then there's no point in saving at all. We think, what's the use of saving $5 when I really need to save $500? And this is where we mess up. Saving isn't about perfection, it's about consistency. The key to building any financial habit is making it a regular part of your life, no matter how small the contributions may seem at first. The all-or-nothing mindset holds us back because we get discouraged by the gap between where we are and where we want to be. But the truth is, even small steps add up over time. Here's the thing, even if all you can save is $1 a week, that's still progress. It may feel insignificant in the moment, but it's a step forward, and every little bit counts. Imagine you're climbing a mountain. Each step, no matter how small, takes you closer to the summit. It's the same with savings. Every dollar you put aside is a step toward financial security. So, let go of the all-or-nothing mindset. Embrace the power of small, consistent actions. Remember, it's about the journey and the habit you're building, not just the destination. Over time, those small savings will accumulate, and you'll be amazed at how far you've come. Point 10. Giving up too soon. Saving money is a long game, and it's easy to get discouraged when progress feels slow. We often want instant results, but the reality is that saving takes time, and the fruits of your labor aren't always visible right away. When you're putting away a little bit of money each week or cutting back on a few unnecessary expenses, it can feel like you're not making any progress at all, but that's the danger. When you stop too soon, you're robbing yourself of the bigger rewards that come from patience and persistence. Imagine a farmer who plants seeds and then digs them up a week later because they haven't sprouted yet. The growth is happening even if you can't see it. In the same way, every dollar you save is a seed for your future. It takes time for these seeds to grow into a strong financial foundation. So, keep watering them with your consistent efforts and trust the process. Hey, if you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, make sure to check out my other video here for more money tips and ways to take control of your finances. You won't want to miss it.